Michael Gableman's election investigation. His review of the 2020 election will continue through at least the end of April. So I think I should ask you both, do you believe that the city of Milwaukee had a free and fair election?
Well, I'm concerned about all of the accusations that have come forward. We have an obligation, certainly as mayor at the local level, to ensure that everything, absolutely everything, is above board, beyond reproach, and yet it seems for the last many years now, every election that we've held, there have been questions that arise about issues and so on and so forth. That needs to be addressed. So we have an obligation at the local level to ensure for the well-being of our community and to ensure to all of our residents that, yes, every election is above board. There is absolutely no cheating going on, and we're delivering what the voters, the will of the voters. So I have concerns about a lot of things that have gone on and the issues that have been raised.
Mayor?
That, I think, is troubling. Look, at a previous candidate forum that we had, Bob Donovan called the experts on COVID-19, the professionals, he called them so-called experts. Now he won't even admit, now he won't even say if we had a fair and transparent election in Milwaukee. That's troubling to me. That's troubling to me as the mayor of the city right now and as a person who lives, resides, and is raising kids in a majority-minority city. I don't think that's right. I can answer that question for you with a simple answer, and that's yes, absolutely, 100%. We had a fair election in Milwaukee. I know because I rolled up my sleeves and I went to Central Count on election night to help the Election Commission and to help all the people who came together to process all those ballots that we had to use during the pandemic. We worked to bring in a new election commissioner to preside over a consequential presidential election in the middle of a pandemic. And they did a great job, and they counted every vote, and they did it fairly.
Would you keep Claire Woodall-Vogt as the election commission?
Absolutely. I think she did a fabulous job administering a difficult election in a pandemic, and she did it fair. She did it fairly, she did it transparently, and she did it above board. And I think the mayor of this city has to be able to admit that, has to be able to say that. And Bob just wouldn't admit to that. That, I think, is troubling.
Do you believe there was widespread fraud, Alderman? I'm just trying to get to the crux of what you're saying.
I don't know why he's making that accusation of me. I'm simply saying that in this last election, there seemed to be legitimate concerns raised by a lot of different people. If that hadn't occurred, there wouldn't be Gableman and the investigation going on. That concerns me because we have an obligation to ensure that nothing like that comes forward, that accusations are just unfounded. Yet, in his reports, there seems to be some serious things. I'm not necessarily saying right here in Milwaukee, but there are some issues that have been raised. So the point I'm making is we have to ensure that none of those issues come up again, that we have the best well-run elections that we possibly can.
Mayor Barrett appointed Claire Woodall-Vogt as executive director to the Election Commission. Would you keep her in that position? The mayor said yes.
I have absolutely no reason at this point to remove her. I haven't sat down and met with her or talked to her. So, you know, it's difficult to say at this point, but I see no reason why I wouldn't keep her.